Buckingham Palace said tonight that the oldest person in the royal family died. Her name was Catherine, the Duchess of Kent. When Duchess Katharine died, people around the world felt sad about losing someone who was graceful, helped others, and quietly did good things. But when they finally opened up her house and looked through her stuff, nobody expected to find such amazing secrets inside. For the people who went inside, it felt like walking into a secret world full of old memories, valuable things, and very personal items. Mixed in with letters, old objects, and surprising family treasures were discoveries so shocking and so incredible that they showed everyone a side of the Duchess that regular people had never seen before. This is the story about that unbelievable discovery, the last goodbye. On the night of September 4th, 2025, the world quietly lost one of the British royal family's most graceful and caring people. The next day, Buckingham Palace told everyone the sad news. Catherine, the Duchess of Kent, had died peacefully when she was 92 years old. Her life lasted more than 9 amazing decades and was like a beautiful tapestry made of doing her duty, being kind, and never giving up on helping her family and the public. Through many decades of quietly helping people, doing charity work, and always being there when needed, she left a mark that would never be forgotten on the people around her. When she died, it didn't just end her personal story, but also closed a touching chapter in royal history. The palace announcement was full of sadness, but also deep respect. It is with deep sadness that Buckingham Palace tells everyone about the death of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Kent. Her Royal Highness died peacefully last night at Kensington Palace with her family around her. Even though the announcement was short, those words meant a lot, echoing a life that was mostly lived away from public attention, but always connected to royal responsibilities, ceremonies, and the careful balance of royal duties. Behind those calm words were decades of unseen work, guidance, and quiet support that had shaped the lives of both her family and the royal family as a whole. For the people closest to her, from her immediate family to members of the royal household staff, losing her hurt deeply. Buckingham Palace also said the King and Queen and all members of the royal family joined the Duke of Kent, his children and grandchildren, in being sad about their loss. These words showed not just personal sadness, but the shared grief inside the palace walls, where Catherine had long been admired for staying calm, giving gentle advice, and always supporting her husband and the wider royal circle. She had been someone who kept things stable, a person whose influence was measured by what she did rather than newspaper headlines. According to official palace reports, the Duchess of Kent's last moments were peaceful and full of quiet dignity. She died at Kensington Palace, the fancy home she had grown to love deeply in her later years, surrounded by the comfort and love of her family, surrounded by familiar rooms, treasured memories, and the warmth of the people closest to her. Her death was just like the life she had lived, one defined by faithful devotion, graceful behavior, and a never-ending sense of duty. Even in her last hours, she showed the elegance, compassion, and quiet strength that had always defined her. While regular people often only saw the ceremonial side of her life, her real impact was in private actions, helping younger royals, supporting charitable causes, and quietly making sure the palace ran smoothly, leaving behind a legacy of thoughtful dedication. Even though the announcement was short, its impact spread quickly. Catherine had for decades kept a careful balance between what the public expected and her private life. Her death would not only be mourned, but would also bring attention to the private world she had carefully built. The death of the Duchess of Kent marked the end of an era of quiet influence and steady grace. But her death revealed a secret that few people could have imagined. What hidden treasures and long-forgotten secrets did the Duchess of Kent take to her grave? Let's find out. The secret room of Duchess Katharine. At first look, Duchess Katharine's house seemed like any peaceful countryside home, quiet, private, and far away from the glittering world of Kensington Palace. Hidden in a peaceful corner of Wiltshire, it had long been her personal safe place, a place untouched by royal rules, flashing cameras, or nosy eyes. To outsiders, it looked like a charming house, with well-kept gardens and elegant cottages that blended into the landscape. But to Catherine, it was a secret fortress, completely her own, where she could truly be herself. But after her death, this peaceful home was about to expose a secret that would shock the royal world. and make curious the people who thought they knew her. A seemingly normal legal notice quietly gave permission for an official inspection of the house. On the surface, it seemed to be just another step in the process of handling her affairs after death. But insiders who knew the house and its hidden corners immediately understood that something unusual was about to be discovered. No cameras flashed, no crowds gathered. Only a quiet team of officials walked carefully along the gravel driveway, their footsteps whispering in the still air. They entered the house not as onlookers, but as protectors of history. Given the job of finding hidden treasures kept in secret, every basement, storage room, and forgotten corner was to be explored with careful attention to detail. Their mission was clear: discover the house's secrets without disturbing a single thing unnecessarily. The house's garage looked ordinary, built to shelter classic cars and garden tools. Its wooden beams creaked softly underfoot, and the air smelled faintly of old wood and dust. Concrete floors stretched into shadowy corners where sunlight barely reached. But as the team carefully moved deeper inside, a small oddity caught their eye. A wooden panel, slightly warped, tucked behind crates and partly hidden beneath dusty covers. It was different from the other walls, and strangely, it did not appear on any building plans of the house. Curious, the officials approached with a mixture of caution and excitement. With careful hands, they gently opened the panel. A narrow, dimly lit hallway showed itself, choked with spider webs and shadows, its air heavy with the smell of time itself. At the hallway's end lay a low-ceiling stone room, sealed tight and untouched for decades. The silence was almost sacred. At the heart of the room sat a single object, a heavy wooden chest. Its surface was worn with age, its iron hinges rusted and groaning with each touch. It was clear that this chest had been placed on purpose, hidden carefully, but meant never to be forgotten. It was a secret kept with care, waiting patiently for the day it would finally be discovered, promising revelations that would amaze anyone who ever thought they truly knew the Duchess of Kent. Inside that hidden chest were secrets so amazing that even the royals could hardly imagine them. But who exactly was the Duchess of Kent to keep such a powerful mystery safe? Now, let's explore a life shaped by tradition, never-ending duty, and quiet but remarkable influence. From Yorkshire roots to royal legacy, Duchess Katharine was born and raised among the rolling landscapes of North Yorkshire. The daughter of Sir William Worsley, 4th Baronet of Hingham Hall, from an early age. She was surrounded by the traditions and elegance of English country life, but her upbringing carried a quiet sense of independence and down-to-earth charm. It was at Blenheim Palace in 1956, during a visit to the Yorkshire Army base at Catterick, where Prince Edward was serving, that their paths first crossed. A meeting that would eventually change the course of both their lives. The young Catherine, already admired for her poise and warmth, caught the attention of the prince, beginning a love story that combined romance, duty, and heritage. Their engagement caused waves of excitement and curiosity across the nation. But it was the choice of wedding location that really captured attention. In 1961, they got married at York Minster, a decision that boldly broke more than 600 years of royal tradition. For centuries, royal weddings had been held at Westminster Abbey or St. George's Chapel. But Catherine's deep love for her home region of Yorkshire inspired a historic change. The ceremony at York Minster was the first royal wedding there since 1328, a remarkable nod to her roots. This choice showed not just personal preference, but a deep connection to the region that had shaped her values, character, and lasting sense of identity, forever linking her royal story to the land she cherished. As the wife of Queen Elizabeth II's cousin, Catherine stepped into the role of a senior royal, carrying out official duties on behalf of the monarch with grace and discretion. She was not just a figurehead, but an active participant in charity work, public appearances, and the delicate ceremonial functions that demanded both tact and poise. Her royal position, however, came with an interesting twist of ancestry. Through her father, she was a direct descendant of Oliver Cromwell, the man who had challenged King Charles I and oversaw the monarch's execution, a fact reported by ITV News, adding a layer of historical irony to her life within the very monarchy her ancestor had opposed in later years. Duchess Katharine and her husband made their home at Wren Cottage, nestled within the grounds of Kensington Palace. There they balanced the privacy of home life with the responsibilities of royal service, creating a space that was at once personal, secure, and connected to the ongoing rhythms of royal duty. From her Yorkshire roots,